LaxFactor Podcast. Our first segment of this podcast, which is going to be predictions. We're going to talk about the predictions that I made, and I'm kind of I guess you would call me a hot take kind of guy here. So I made some bold predictions that didn't pan out, and then I made some general predictions that did. So one of them was I was hyping Yale up all year. A lot of people were starting to write Yale off as maybe, you lose your Tewaaraton winner in Ben Reeves, and maybe they weren't going to have quite as quality of a 2019 as they did in 2018 when they won the national title, and Reeves was a Tewaaraton winner. And I had been predicting all preseason and into the beginning of the season that we were going to see big things from Yale with the addition of T.D. Erlin and then just the offensive unit, the defensive unit that they had coming back. I had predicted that Yale was going to very possibly end up in the finals. I had predicted they were going to make the semis, make the Final Four, but that they would probably end up in the finals. They did. So I got that one right. That's not a real hot take, though. There were people who thought Yale was going to be that good, and there were people who knew they were just going to be a solid team. But I did specifically predict that Yale would end up in the finals. Boom, nailed it. Because I'm a homer, I had also predicted that Syracuse would end up in the area of 9 or 10 wins as I went through their schedule. And Syracuse, I think, in the regular season, maybe during the course of the whole season, they ended the season with 9 wins. So I nailed that in episode 3 of the podcast. I predicted that UVA would return to glory and make the Final Four, although I did not mention them as one of my winners to win it all. I didn't say they were going to win it all outside of just that they had as good of a chance as any to make the Final Four and compete come Memorial Day weekend. So I kind of nailed that. I predicted Yale, UVA, Duke, Cornell, Loyola, and Maryland would all share time in the top 5. That ended up being true. Not too difficult because some of them started there, but they all kind of hopped in and out of that area. I predicted Cuse and Hopkins would end up in the top 10 no matter what happened throughout the season, and that ended up being true. Hopkins ended up there. I think they might have ended up outside of it by the end. I can't remember. Now, I did get a bunch of things just stupid wrong. Oh, and then I was going to player stuff. One of the things I got, no, we won't go into that because that's actually technically something I got wrong. So things that I got wrong, and I got these things badly wrong. I predicted Cornell was going to win it all. As my hot take, and I said, in the beginning of the year, I said it's way too early to predict this, but I'm going to predict that Cornell is going to win it all, and I thought they were going to be a dark horse, and I was really wrong, and I had kind of based that off. Cornell finished 2018 really strong, beating Yale in the Ivy tournament. Just had a really good 2019 season, making the NCAA tournament. I thought Jeff Teat was going to break out and have a monster year. I thought they had the tools in place, and I thought they were going to play solid enough team defense that I legitimately thought they were going to end up being a contender. I thought they were a legit Final Four contender, and if they could just get to the finals, they were exciting enough that they could win it all, and that didn't even come close to happening as what they finished 3rd or 4th in the Ivy. I predicted Teat would be the player of the year and win the Tewaaraton, and that didn't happen. I did predict Spencer would be right behind him and that he'd win Attackman of the Year. It ended up being Spencer won the Tewaaraton, and I think it was Amat won the Attackman of the Year award or the equivalent. I predicted Hopkins would break the top 5. Didn't happen because they got beat up by Loyola right at the beginning of the year, and they never really rebounded. I predicted in this one, I was super thinking that this was going to be right. I had predicted that Kobe Knies would end up being the goalie of the year. I got that wrong. He had a down year, I think, in terms of what he probably expected of himself, although he still had a solid season on a really good team. I think their style of play does not lend itself well to making life easy on goalkeepers. So I got that one wrong. But in fact, I got all the Player of the Year awards wrong, so I won't even go into the rest of them. I got the Defensive Player of the Year wrong. I can't even remember who I picked. One of the 3 Duke defenders. I got the Attackman of the Year wrong, Player of the Year wrong. Midfielder of the Year, I think I got wrong because I want to say Costabile may have gotten that, and I picked Aiken. I think the only one I would have gotten right if they did issue the award was the what's it called? Specialist of the Year, because I'm sure that did go to Erlin, and obviously I picked that. So I got all the Player of the Year awards wrong, but what are you going to do? That's a tough one. let's get this video over 100 likes. So if you're watching, smash the like button and share this video to get the word out about the podcast, about the show, about this upcoming season, college lacrosse season specifically, that we're going to cover as 2020 gets rolling. We're going to start covering the NLL as well. So make sure that you hit the like button if you're watching this. Make sure that you share this video, and just know we're about to cover hard the NLL and the college lacrosse season for 2020 as soon as the calendar flips. If you want to support us beyond that, you can go to LaxFactor.com, get yourself some swag, t-shirts, hats, mugs, all sorts of other stuff. Also, if you comment down below, you will get entered to win over the course of all these videos for this episode. We'll put this episode out in over 2 YouTube videos. Comment down below, and you'll be entered to win a pair of these Rampage lacrosse shorts, peacock pattern. They're pretty crazy. These are big. So I think these here are XLs, and they're really almost size like double XLs, but you get those if you comment down below anything that's thoughtful. And then also, if you go to Sergio Salcido 48.com, buy your kid, or if you are a kid, hit up your parent to have them buy it for you. Buy number 48's Train My Way online training program, where Sergio himself will put your kid through a series of drills he uses to fine-tune his own game, both in season and during the off season. So 2 ways: go to LaxFactor.com, get your swag. You can support us that way, or you can go to Sergio Salcido 48.com and allow number 48 to help motivate and educate you or your kid as a player. If you want to continue and listen to this whole podcast, go to LaxFactor.com. We put the full audio podcast up and attach that to the blog post that we link in the description. So if you want to listen to the rest of this right away, go to LaxFactor.com. You can actually listen to the full audio version.